Hello, everyone. Glad to see you back here at Silver Tears Tarot. And of course, a warm welcome to those of you who are joining us for the first time. So, a couple of days ago in our last reading, we looked at things that were happening in your person's world, and we basically found your person was dealing with a lot. There's a ton going on, and when we looked into what you could be doing to help the situation, it was always a matter of how you could be developing yourself, what you could be doing within yourself to make the best of whatever energy was coming. So, but what we didn't really get, I guess, was a flavor for what your person wanted from you or what they wanted you to do. Um, you have options about what you actually want to do, but let's at least see what they have a desire for. So that's what we're going to do in this reading. So, as you guys know, it'll be a general reading. That's how I do these. It'll be for all signs. It won't resonate with everybody, but if it does resonate with you, please do subscribe so we can stick together. Hit like on the video if you like it. And we will be able to stick together. Like I said, there's a lot of patterns in these readings that I've noticed as we've been doing them in time that I've been out on YouTube. So we're going to go ahead and get started by looking at the energetic backdrop for the two of you, and it's today's energetic backdrop. This is usually how I like to start it. So this is the energy that's kind of just happening in the environment right now. Um, and it's energy that would be impacting you. So there could be a lot that's happening in the environment right now. Oh, looks like I dropped one behind the table. So I'm going to have to turn the camera off and go grab that really quickly. But we do have our Knight of Cups. Okay, so I was able to go back and grab that a little bit more easily than I thought. So we have the Knight of Cups in the energetic backdrop. So this is about not being able to move forward and do something that is sort of a loving action. It's not able to say loving words, not able to come and see somebody. There's this sense in the environment of not being able to get together. So that's interesting. There's something about this. It isn't the emotions coming from the two of you. There's something else getting in the way that is making it so that you're unable to communicate. So that's an interesting thing that hasn't come up so much. In some cases, there are going to be somebody does not want the two of you to be in communication and has asked for your person not to communicate with you, for example. That's going to be true for some of you. Let's look at the environment of this relationship specifically. Changing this up a little bit. I want to look at this is environment surrounding you. This is going to be environment of the relationship between the two of you. So it's going to be like the energy. Okay, so it's temperance. There's something holding in a like in a holding pattern. There's a balance that the two of you have struck energetically, and it's almost like a placeholder. I definitely get the sense of a placeholder, a place of balance, a place of you guys are giving each other some modicum of balance, even though you may be throwing each other off a little bit at the same time. So that's interesting. Okay, let's take a look then at the question that we came here to ask. What is it that your person most wants from you or wants for you to do? So you've got this emotional holding pattern going on with them while there's something going on in, the greater environment that is keeping you from one another, where between the two of you, there's this environment of quiet balance. It's like there was a reading not too long ago where somebody was described as having gotten in on the ground floor. It's sort of that sort of energy. So this is what they want from you or what they want for you to do. The Queen of Wands. Okay. So the Queen of Wands in the upright, they want you to not advance. The Queen of Wands in the upright does advance, very much comes your direction, is unstoppable when she is a force of nature. And when she wants something, she is able to move toward it with unprecedented passion and ability. She's able to clear the path. Sometimes when we look at the Queen of Wands, we see that she is able to do it under any circumstances, and no matter what stands in her way, she's always going to find a way. Here in the reverse, she is a little bit milder than that. So she's disinclined to do things for just any reason. Sometimes when we see the Queen of Wands come in the reverse, it's about, I'm not going to do it any which way. I'm going to do it in a way that I'm very mindful about the way that I do things. That's part of what your person is asking for or what they want, but they need a little bit of a break from the energy right now so that they can deal with some of the things that have been happening in their environment. And so this reading hinges a little bit on that three pile reading that I did recently. So if you go back to the previous video, you will see what I'm talking about with regard to things that are going on in your person's life. So we did a reading just to get in deep and understand what's happening with your person. We do that once in a while, but this time was like we opened the door and it was on fire. All three piles. Just so much going on, and not literally on fire, but there's just so much going on that it was super intense. You could see why maybe it seemed like their mind was on other things. Okay, and so what they're asking for here is a little bit of grace. They're asking for a little bit of, please be patient with me because I can't move faster than this. That's kind of how this feels, and so that's what they're asking for. That is what your person wants. They want you to just kind of hold on, and they understand that you may not be able to stay in one place, hold on, but just kind of, there's this concept of a placeholder. We saw that here, and that's what this reinforces. It's just asking, please don't forget about me. Please be aware that I still may very much want to have a communication. I can't do it right now. There's that sense. So it's like the star, and so we're using the star tarot, and the star card out of the star tarot is really special. I'm going to clarify for you, by the way, with the radiant tarot here in a moment. I usually like to introduce my decks a little sooner than that, and I'm already thinking about my next question, but I haven't told you. So it's like I feel like the universe knows what my questions are going to be, but if I don't say it to you, then it's kind of like not, it's not fair. So this one is going to be about how they're feeling about things today. And so we do this one often. We look into how they're feeling, but sometimes what we've noticed is that things are kind of shifting and changing. And, there's a lot of, let's say, admiration has been one of those consistent themes that we've seen. But there's also been a lot of fear that, I'm unable to approach you right now. And that breaks eventually. And so we've been seeing that. I've been talking to some of you and seeing evidence of it. Most of the folks are seeming to remain pretty fearful, but this is a place where we would want to continue taking the internal temperature just to kind of make sure that we understand how things are going currently. So this is current feelings. It's how they're feeling about you and about things right now. And it could be a little different from what we experienced yesterday. So we've got the Prince of Wands. The Prince of Wands is a little bit more willing to think about and entertain the idea of having some fun, getting out and doing something good. This is getting out when the sun shines, and depending on where you are, the sun may or may not be doing very much shining. Maybe too cold to get out. Maybe it'll be just perfect, depending on which hemisphere you're in and kind of where you are. But there's a sense of wanting to get out into the sunshine with you, but not necessarily feeling like they still don't feel like they can. They've got their hands tied in some kind of way over here. But there's this feeling of wanting to almost just take a quick vacation from it, go and see you, bask in your energy a little bit, have some enjoyment, and then when they feel rejuvenated, go back and deal with whatever they're dealing with. But that's not the way that things are going right now. That's when we look at the environment of the relationship, we see that placeholder, we see it on ice, we see that sense of a balance between you that is kind of temporary, but also kind of frozen. So let's take a look at hidden energies. So this is going to be hidden energies you need to be aware of that are going to help you to understand things a little bit better. We've got the Queen of Swords, and that's that feeling of distress, cutting things out and making it logical to do so. That's what's coming out here. And I feel like this one's hidden from both of you. It's in the intention of making things right. And it is ultimately what ends up happening, but not necessarily in the way that your person had expected. So there's a sense of them having decided to walk away, decided to cut things out, and not necessarily having the result that they were expecting, even if they are still doing the action that they expected. So unexpected results, and I think we'll see a little bit more about that when we clarify. First, let's go in there and take a look at what you could be doing better now to be more appropriately prepared for what you're heading towards. So when we look at this energy of, what they want you to do, this energy that you're in, um, we know that it's not something that's gonna it's a holding pattern. It's not gonna remain the way that it is long term. Your person is asking for a little bit of grace. They're asking for a moment to get things adjusted in their world. And again, if you go back and look at any of those piles from the most recent three pile reading, and it's the reading should be right before this one, there's a lot going on with your person that they may need to attend to. So let's go ahead and ask the question. We asked the question, and that's what kind of generated this reading, what you could be doing to kind of help out in that situation. And it always ended up being, here's something that you can do within your person. So knowing that that may still be the type of answer that we receive here, we want to understand, and that's what this question is going to be, what you can be doing better, what you can be doing right now to help yourself as you're moving forward, whether you're trying to accomplish this, or you're trying to remove this, or it depends on what your situation is, but what you can be doing that's going to be ultimately helping the situation. Okay, so no, we don't want that one. Okay, I thought we wanted both of them. Sometimes when we have two of them come up, oftentimes we do, but that one, it was just put it back, put it back. So we have the hanged one that has come out here. The hanged one is, it's about a new perspective. It's about gaining a new perspective. It's about gathering a new perspective, and it's about recognizing when there isn't yet a new perspective. So that is really what the spirit of this one is. It's about recognizing that this is not yet a new perspective that has fully grown. It's something that you're working on. So hang in there. There's going to be more to it. Let's jump in here and clarify. I almost wanted to, I can't decide if I'm going to do an oracle card or not. So sometimes I always have the oracle deck out, but I don't always do an oracle card for advice. So we'll see. I pulled out the shaman's dream in case we want to use it. Let's take a look though first to clarify with this Knight of Cups. And we want this one. Nine of Wands. Okay, so there is something that has changed and almost snapped, like a light switch that has been flipped. There's something, a new passion that's erupting in your person. We see evidence of that down here when we see how they're feeling about you and about things, where they want to just kind of take that vacation and come out and see you and then get a little bit of rejuvenation before they go back into this situation that they're dealing with right now. They are starting to get to a place where they're starting to realize that certain things don't matter anymore, and that there are certain walls they've been guarding that no longer require guarding. They're going to be able to walk away. They're going to have room for new passion. That's what's happening, even though they're in the midst of kind of some sort of shutdown of communication where they're not allowed to communicate or do something. And I feel like this is both of you, but it's a lot stronger with them. And maybe it's reversed, but I really feel like that's the way that this feels right here. Looking into this Temperance card, so this was the environment of the relationship between the two of you. The environment of the relationship between the two of you. There's that balance. Still not having been able to really truly find that emotional common ground, that emotional opportunity to meet in the middle, or that emotional place where you're able to meet in the middle and understand something new. You have this sense of rejuvenation that is wanting to come to you, but it's going to take a little bit of time. They're wanting to, of course, take a shortcut and go vacation with your energy, but honestly, just the connection between you and the energy that you have flowing between the two of you is helping to create that sense of rejuvenation. You, even though you're in a holding pattern, are helping to feed each other energy of transformation. It's going to be, and this is a card that we've seen come out a couple times, something that is building toward the two of you being able to pass judgment and the two of you being able to say, hold your heads high and say that this is something that you belong in and belongs to you. And it's not there yet. There's something that's getting in the way. We see that over here, but we also see that the two of you aren't quite ready to get to that place. So let's take a look at what it is that your person really wants most for you, or what they want you to do. And they were asking for a little bit of grace, a little bit of an opportunity to get things figured out, is kind of what it felt like. An opportunity to get things sorted out, figured out. I thought we had a card there for a minute. And to just kind of understand. So we've got two cards. All right, there's our customary 10 of Cups. These days, you cannot have a reading on the Silver Tears Tarot channel without the 10 of Cups coming out in reverse. So we've seen an awful lot of it here lately. We actually have seen a lot of the 9 of Cups and the 10 of Cups. The 9 of Cups often coming out to instruct us to make sure we understand what it is that we want. Make sure we understand what direction it is that we want to be going and what constitutes our wish fulfillment. Then that 10 of Cups comes out to help us with discernment and to remind us that it's important to be able to tell if something is too good to be true. And if it is, to be able to adjust the way we approach it when we come to it. So the thing is, though, your person is wanting to have something that's a little bit like having their cake and eating it too. They want you to be waiting in the wings a little bit. And it's like on an intellectual level, they understand that's not necessarily going to happen. But they would like for you to be waiting in the wings for when they're able to be a good match with you again, because they recognize that that's what's happening. So they'd like to be able to remain in that holding pattern and then just kind of be able to swoop in. But there's a lot that keeps them from that. And part of it is the recognition that the history between the two of you does not necessarily enable that. You guys have become very real to one another. And again, we've got this situation where you haven't necessarily been able to find that emotional common place in between. So let's look at this Prince of Wands, and this is going to be how they're feeling about you, how they are thinking about things currently, what their current feelings are. What their current feelings end up being, what their current feelings are. And remember, this could be a little different because we see like the sun has come out a little bit. They would like to spend some time with you in the sun a little bit. And we've got the King of Swords that's come out here. They would like to be short-sighted. They would like to be a little bit myopic, it feels like. That's a really interesting feeling. Like they want to not look at the big picture because they know that it means it holds them back. And there's something, yeah, definitely something that is controlling them and holding them back. They may be experiencing some obsessive thoughts about you and some cyclical thoughts about you. So just be aware that's a little something that is in the mix there. So they're feeling strongly. We're going to look more into this when we get into the extended. I'm curious to know what's going on with how they're feeling about you, because there's a lot of strong feelings. But you know, when you look at it with this, they wish they could just kind of put you where they want you. But this is not that type of relationship. This is the type of relationship where it's your whole soul, and they are not going to be able to treat it like something where they can just kind of control it and slot it where they want it. Let's take a look at this Queen of Swords. And I don't think they want to be heartless like that. I don't think that's what they mean. I think it's just a matter of they wish they could, not necessarily that they think they ought to be able to. So we've got the Four of Wands. Remember that Queen of Swords was in that hidden energy, and it was about cutting things out without really and building a logic afterwards. You know, there's this Four of Wands. They were looking to keep things more as stable as possible in their own lives when they cut things out, when they cut you out of their life. So there's a strong element of almost regret or realizing that things did not go the way that they intended for them to go. And recognizing that this was too rash of an action, that there was a real partnership here. And we're going to take both of these, and that there is a real exchange of emotion that happened between the two of you. They maybe were not prepared for it. I almost feel that Empress in reverse, kind of not prepared for it. And it's caught them off guard to the point where they really can't let go of it. Such that they've got this in a holding pattern. They want you to stay there and be prepared for them. Give them a little bit of grace while they deal with this situation that's happening over here. We probably need to understand a little bit more about what it is they truly want from you, because it feels like they're asking for something that they can't possibly be asking for. We'll look at that when we get into the extended as well. But first, let's go ahead and look at this hanged one. So this was, again, kind of just getting advice for you. And it was about recognizing that you're not quite in that place yet where you have the new perspective that you need. You're not quite there. You are, ooh, we've got both of our cards. Maybe you're getting there. Ooh, but not quite yet. Here it is again, the hanged one and the hanged man, both in reverse, reiterating the same thing. You are coming to a place, probably already getting to a pretty good place where you have a decent perspective of the good and the bad. But there is this sense definitely of not having not having gotten to that place where you have your new perspective. Let's go ahead and grab you an advice card. I want to go ahead and grab you an oracle after all, before we head into that extended, because we're going to look at how your person feels about you. We're going to look at what it is that they want about what they want from you. But depending on what comes out from this oracle card, I'm not sure what I want to also ask for from you. So we've got Woodwives adaptability. Okay, so this one is about when you feel like you know what you want and you feel like you want to go wholeheartedly for it and go toward it. You have this remarkable and beautiful ability to do that, to go wholeheartedly toward what it is that you want. And the thing is, though, in order for you to be successful, you may have to constantly be redesigning what that looks like. And so the adaptability piece here is speaking to how much happier you're going to be once you are able to accept new ideas quickly and move into those new ideas relatively quickly. Your person needs to try and work on their own adaptability as well. They're especially with these obsessive thoughts that they're having. Anytime there's obsessive thinking, there's an inability to adapt to something. So this has been an interesting reading. We're going to go ahead and take this into the extended, looking a little more deeply into what it is that they want from you, a little bit more deeply into how they're feeling about you. And I think we are going to get you some more advice about how it would make sense for you to move forward. Even though it feels like an abundance of that advice is what drove me to do this reading, I feel like we still maybe could benefit from it. I mean, there's just so much good there. We've got these new perspectives that you haven't quite got yet. Let's see if maybe we get a little insight into those. So, thanks so much. If this resonated, please subscribe. Please hit like. I look forward to seeing you in the extended or again in another reading.